Mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check. If we on, we can stay on. If we on, we can stay on. If we on, we can stay on. All right, what's gonna make a hip hop classic? Come on. The makings of a hip hop classic. What makes a hip hop classic? This is a response to a YouTuber by the name of Easy Experience. And he said that basically the term instant classic is ruining hip hop. So I love to challenge thoughts and ideas, especially when they are profound, when people make a bold statement as if something is being torn down from the inside out versus the outside in. And I have to take a good look at it, and then we can approach it and come with some facts and some wisdom, and hopefully I can persuade and educate somebody on the idea that they could be misguided, not necessarily wrong, but misguided. So let's go ahead and bring me back on stage. So this is content creator, Easy Experience. And we're going to listen to him and how he breaks down and what is his idea of why instant classic is destroying music appreciation. Music appreciation. Let's go.
Because as of right now, Alfredo 2, Let God Sort Him Out, shouldn't be mentioned in the same breath as an Illmatic or Reasonable Doubt.
Man. So he comes out swinging and he says that albums like Alfredo 2, which was just released this month, and the Clips album, Let God Sort Them Out, shouldn't be listed among the all-time greats as a classic.
Hey, yo, Ease.
Yo, what's the deal, fam? It's your man East, top of the morning out here in this morning
Ease,
walk.
Ayo
Hope you all
Ease.
are
Shout
doing
out to
well
you, brother.
today. What are we talking about today? Let's talk about instant classics and how I believe that's nonsensical and pretty much impossible if you're really thinking about it, man. I will preface this video by stating the last time I probably ever thought of an album being an instant classic, probably Little Brother the Listening.
Hey, and Little Brother the Listening is definitely a classic. Rap duo from the Bull City, North Carolina. Classic producer, Ninth Wonder, Fonte, rapper Big Pooh, classic boom bap rap, hip hop group, man. Early 2000s. Shout out.
And I tell you why. Because it checks so many different boxes: variety, content, creativity, production, and the list goes on and on.
Alright, so I wish he would have further down that school of thought and say what makes a classic, but I'm gonna help him out and fill in the blank for him, and y'all can follow along with me if you will. Let me make my face big so y'all can see me. Booyah cow. All right. So I broke it down into these categories. What's going to make a hip hop classic? Lyrical content. Number one, You got the depth and you have storytelling. So the example that he used was Fonte and Rapper Big Pooh. Plenty storytelling there. Uh, they used to tell stories about being in the Bull City. That's how I know that Raleigh, North Carolina is Bull City. So start there. Cultural and political commentary. I would consider Little Brother as a blue collar rap. So they rap from the common person perspective. So it's not the bling rap. It's not braggadocious. It's definitely something that the everyday person can relate to. Innovative wordplay and punchlines. Hey, Fonte is one of the best in the game, and Rapper Big Pooh is right there as the perfect complimentary piece. Something like Andre 3000 and Big Boy. Street credibility or authentic voice. Like I said, they rap from a perspective of, they call it blue collar rap, the everyday rapping person. Production and sound. How does it sound sonically? A signature production style. Ninth Wonder, one of the best in the business. He did most of the heavy lifting on that album, I believe. I don't think they quite hooked up with Crisis just yet, but Ninth Wonder is credited with the listening. Hard hitting beats and breaks, absolutely. Memorable hooks and choruses. Now, do they have a street anthem? Do they have that one song off of the album that can say, hey, this is the one that we all know? I don't know. The structure and the cohesion. Structure and cohesion. The album definitely flowed from front to back, top to bottom, because it was produced by Ninth Wonder, one producer. Strong skits and interludes. Does it have consistent flows and deliveries throughout it? Absolutely. Checks the boxes there. Features and collaborations. The listening. And I'm going to have to go ahead and do some research right here, because you know what? I don't remember the listening having any guest features. Like, I just don't remember it having any guest features. So you have rapper Big Pooh once again, Fonte, So Fabulous, and even right here on the side, the source got it as a 4 mic, the Vibe 3.5, Hip Hop DX is 4, Rap Views, Rap Reviews is a 10 out of 10. Sean Dunn, okay. So we have rapper Big Pooh, Fonte, Median, my man. So they do have a feature right here. Shorty on the Lookout. The Yo-Yo was that anthem they were talking about. But Median, definitely one of those guys. Keisha Chantel. All right. So let's get back to this screen right here, though. unique artist and persona. Don't get much more unique than that. Impact and legacy. I'm not sure if Little Brother has the impact, but definitely the legacy, because not too many rappers came from Raleigh after that, from the Bull City after that. However, their legacy in is secure because Ninth Wonder went on and be a super producer, making beats for Jay-Z. Produced some records on the Black Album. Fonte went on to have a great solo career, as well as Big Pooh, which is critically acclaimed. So we got impact, we got features and collaborations, structure and cohesion. How does it sound sonically? The production and the lyrical content. Those are the 5 ingredients for a classic album.
But now we're in a position presently where everything is a classic. I mean, like, y'all don't even, not y'all. Yeah, y'all, we're speaking generally. Don't take it personally. Y'all won't even give an album time to breathe before you want to answer that, calling it a classic, let alone album of the year. Classic, yo, this is a classic, yo. So you mean to tell me when we say classic, these particular albums are in the same realm and room as, I don't know, an Illmatic, right? Perhaps a Life After Death, a Reasonable Doubt, things of that nature.
All right. So he came out swinging. He gave us 3 good reference points. He gave us Life After Death. I actually prefer Ready to Die over Life Over Death, but Life Over Death, Reasonable Doubt, and Illmatic. All right. So let's see something. I remember where I was when I first heard all 3 of those albums: Illmatic, Reasonable Doubt, and then later on Life After Death. I actually cut school to go get that Biggie's album, Life After Death. It was my final class for the afternoon. I remember when it got released, instead of going to class, I jumped in my car and went to the record store, which was called at the time Manifest Music. I ain't even had to listen to it. Give me that. Put it in the CD player, and I was on my way, man. Reasonable Doubt. I was on my way to my cousin's house, man. He was a little bit older than me at the time. Well, he still is older than me. And I got the very first edition of Reasonable Doubt on disc when it had the 22 on the front of the disc. And then I thought it was an amazing album then. And the funny thing about Reasonable Doubt is that when it first was released, people wasn't really regard it as a classic. It one of those albums that grew over time. As a matter of fact, let's just look that up right quick. Reasonable Doubt. Because at that time, you got to remember when Reasonable Doubt was released, you had Jay-Z Well, you had Nas that was out, and the Notorious B.I.G. was out as well as solo artists, as well as I believe AZ was out at the time too. So he has some pretty stiff competition as far as being one of the better rappers or having one of the better rap albums at that time. Let's see. Here we go. Here we go. All right, Reasonable Doubt, 1996. The source gave it 4 mics. So when this album was released, the source didn't rate it a classic. The Double XL gave it 5 out of 5. Really, that is interesting, though. So the source, which was at the time our primary source of hip hop news, hip hop literature, hip hop information, everything hip hop, it was our go to. That was the crown jewel, then Double XL. So the source rated a 4 out of 5. Double XL rated a 5 out of 5. But like I said, the source didn't rate it a classic at the time. And then Illmatic was something so ahead of its time. Of course, it was a classic when it was released. It was an instant classic. Everybody who heard that album at the time, during that time, respected Nas and was like, wow, what is this? How is he rapping like that? How is he putting these 4 and 5 syllable words together, right? And it was a universal thought upon release. We didn't have to live with it. We didn't have to sit with it. Now, I would argue that you can't put Reasonable Doubt with Illmatic, but just for the sake of the conversation, we're just gonna let you rock out though. But we didn't have to live with Illmatic. We heard it the first time around. We heard those 10 tracks for 45 minutes, 50 minutes, whatever the case was, and we was like, yo, this is the best damn hip hop album ever made. Reasonable Doubt wasn't like that though. But let's go.
Tell me that these albums that you speak of are in the same room as those illustrious projects after being out for 3 days?
So would I say that the Clips album, Let God Sort Them Out, and Alfredo 2 is in the same room? Possibly. Let's go.
Let's start making sense of this. But we gotta uphold some principles and some estimation because classics take time.
Mm.
You didn't dissect all the lyrics.
Mm.
The production you didn't dissect. Better yet, did you even fully grasp artist direction or intention? No. And I think the problem with it is we live in a world of echo chambers, right? Where a bunch of people are so used to speaking to people who think just like them, and then you try to rewrite history and rewrite the rules and principles when you step outside of those very rooms, thinking as though you could convince someone else. No, I'm open to that discussion. I'm open to discourse, but calling everything a classic
Ah. There we go. So he said that calling everything a classic, but we're not calling everything a classic because we don't say that Lil Yachty, we're not saying that he has a classic. We're not saying that everything that, give me another one, the Baby Drop is a classic, Lil Baby Drop is a classic. We're not saying that everybody is dropping a classic. We're not saying that Jim Jones is dropping classics. We're not. We said that these two particular albums have the same elements of its predecessors. Same elements. Good production, great lyrics, great features. It's cohesive. And it has cultural impact. How do we know that it has cultural impact? Because you're talking about it. I'm talking about it. Hip hop culture in general is buzzing about these albums. But what makes an instant classic though? Let's talk about what makes an instant classic. Great first impression. Got to have a powerful first impression. So the buzz around the Clips album, it has so much controversy around it being let go from Def Jam to being released independent, and then you have that verse with Kendrick Lamar that was controversial with the Trump and the stories about Drake and the rap beef and Pusha T and Kendrick Lamar teaming up together to possibly go against Drake, like so. And then you had the return of Malice. Like there was so much conversation that was going on that led up to the Clips releasing this album. Impressions. Now, just like life after death, like there are some things that just the circumstances that surround the album release as well. Notorious B.I.G. He died before the album was released. So we wanted to hear what was said. It was like so surreal, like, oh my God, life after death. And then he ends up passing away. The album comes out, and the music on the album connected instantly with what was going on and how people were feeling and how they were thinking, and the circumstances just made a perfect storm. Even if every song didn't hit on Life After Death, because it didn't. It really did. But where it was high, it was off the charts. And the circumstances. Lyrical Brilliance. Is the rapping any good? Is the rapping great? Absolutely. We already know how Pusha T and Malice give it up. Freddie Gibbs, we already know how he gives it up. Elite production. Two of the very best in the business, man. It doesn't get any better than Pharrell and Alchemist. It doesn't get any better than those two producers right there. When you start talking about Mount Rushmore, somewhere Alchemist and Pharrell need to be on that list, because I have that idea all the time. Like, damn, where in the hell do you put Neptunes as far as like hip hop producers? Like, damn, they have so much material, so much work. Like, you got to put them somewhere. Immediate cultural impact, like I said, we're buzzing about it. We're talking about it. The circumstances around it. Are the rappers in tip-top shape? Absolutely. They're performing. Is it a common conversation? Hey, I heard a classic. Well, I heard I heard great rhyming and great production. Oh, this person over here, they heard great rhyming and great production too. Oh, Rory and Maul, great rhyming, great production. Joe Budden Paul podcast, great rhyming, great production. Needle Drop, great rhyming and great production. Now, there's an old saying that my dad used to say, everybody ain't lying on you. Everybody ain't lying on you. So if we got all of those elements, right? All of those elements for all of those, and they check all the boxes for the classic, for the instant classic, then it's in that category as being, yes, that.
And it's a slap in the face to all the great projects that have been released throughout the course of our lifetimes. Instant classic.
Yeah.
Yo, that album don't got no skips.
Yep.
Fam, you listen to it 2 or 3 times. I get it. It's perfectly fine to like an album, to love an album, to appreciate an album, to understand or even feel as though an album has top-notch replay value. I get that too. But a classic in 48 to 72 hours? Why? Because ranking system. Everyone wants their favorite artist to be top 5 or top 10. So now you have.
I don't think that's the conversation right there, man. I don't think that we're going into top 5s and top 10s, even though we could start having a conversation, and we should start having a conversation about Freddie Gibbs and the run that he's on right now. But that's not it. But we're gonna listen to a little bit more, and then we're gonna go ahead and wrap this thing on up.
To create narratives to even put them in the conversation. And I seen all this happening, and I know people gonna get upset, but when the Griselda movement first started, or happened on, started to, let's say, flourish and gain some traction, everything these dudes put out, they were saying it was a classic. West Side in particular.
I like that he started with West Side. Funny story about West Side Gun, man. First time I heard a West Side Gun project was Fly God is an awesome God. And that first track that comes on was boom, 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 boom. Like, yo, his ad libs alone had me rolling on the floor. I've never heard anything like that. I've never heard anything like that in my life. It was hilarious. I was dying. And I listened to the whole album all the way through. And I listened to it again and I was rolling. And then I let my homegirl listen to it at the time. And she fell out on the floor too. And we always do those ad libs. We always like boom, 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 boom. Like, yo, those ad libs alone are just classics, right? It's classic. All of the right elements, man, all of the same elements and categories, they're there that lines up with the previous albums. They do. Like those first 3 albums that you named, Reasonable Doubt, um, Life After Death, and Illmatic, I can make the argument that West Side Gun is slightly above Reasonable Doubt and Life After Death. I can make that argument. I can. If anybody want to have a discussion about West Side Gun and that project, man, with Sensational Sherry, how it weighs up against Reasonable Doubt and Life After Death, we can have that conversation. Let's do that. Because like I said, the reaction from a West Side Gun album versus Reasonable Doubt were totally different. Okay? And we're talking about some people who are old enough to have been around for the release of Life After Death and Reasonable Doubt, and old enough to hear Sensational Sherry, West Side Gun, Fly Guy, and be like, you know what? This right here sounds better than this right here.
I'm saying to myself, wow, people really letting this slide, right? Devaluing the word classic. The word classic had become or became devalued. So then dudes just start releasing anything and calling it a classic. And then their cult following in the echo chamber will start regurgitating the same old nonsense. And before you have it, we got dudes who've been in the game for 5 or 6 years calling every album in their discography a classic.
You know, just for shits and giggles, man, let's just pull up West Side Gun and his discography now. West Side Gun, he's one of my favorite rappers right now. He's one of my favorite rappers right now. Okay. From Buffalo. He's in that supergroup Griselda. All right. So let's go. And here are his studio albums right here. You got Fly God, which came out in 2016. Supreme Blientele. Pray for Paris. That's one of my favorite ones. That's the one with the Versace, the song Versace, and it has that the blood of the lamb, which is absolutely phenomenal. Who Made the Sunshine? This is a great one as well. And then You Pray for Me. This is great as well. So he has 5 albums. Now I do think that sometimes we can. I think what happens sometimes is we'll look at his mixtapes, which he has a lot of them. The Hitler series where Hermes. Let me see. You got 1, 2, down 6, 7, 10, and 12. So you got 12 of the Hermes series. Still Praying. Peace, Fly God. So he has a bunch of mixtapes here, And I'm gonna say this. He's putting out great material. It's not like what he's putting out is trash. He's putting out great work. His body of work it speaks for itself. Is flawless actually. He has a flawless mixtape run and discography, man. Like you can't miss. And they all hold that same elements of great lyrics, great beats, production, all the right features, cultural impact. Griselda is a thing. Griselda is a thing, man. So we're just gonna let it rock a little bit more, man. Then we're gonna close out.
And what other genre and what other sector in life would that be able to, would that be accepted? So if everything is classic, how are you improving? Everything is fire, everything is immaculate, everything is the best thing since sliced bread.
All right. It sounds like he got him a little beef with West Side Gun, and it's possible, and Griselda. I don't know. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. We're gonna go ahead and close this thing on out, man. West Side Gun, classic material, great discography, mixtapes, flawless albums, flawless. He used the example of Let God Sort Them Out and Alfredo 2 as his example about being an instant classics compared up to Illmatic, Reasonable Doubt, and Life After Death. And yes, Freddie Gibbs and Eclipse, their album does hold weight. Yes, it is good enough to compare with those previous albums. Yes, it does. Yeah. As you can see from my borders right here, I have a few classic albums up there too. There's Illmatic. There is another Nas album right there. Is Life After Death up here? Nope. Yeah, there it is, right there in the corner. But yeah, man, we respect the classics. We respect the old school, but we're putting even more respect on the current rappers because if they're doing it good, they're doing it great. We're going to acknowledge that, man. So, the instant classic, is it ruining hip hop? No. As a matter of fact, it is improving hip hop. It is pushing hip hop forward. It is inspiring. It is inspiring better music. Freddie Gibbs don't have not one whack album in his discography. Like I'm gonna make a whole separate video of how his discography is better than your top 5. Flawless, man. I'm gonna make another video about how Alchemist, he should be your GOAT. He should be your GOAT producer. He should be. At this point, 30 years in, and he's still making phenomenal music. Like, yeah, it's time to have those conversations, man. So if we're having those conversations right now, we're having those think pieces right now, it's encouraging better music because not only is Freddie Gibbs maximizing, his talent because he's improving and he's getting better. Pusha T is getting better. Malice, welcome back, dog. Welcome back. They're getting better. So, Is it killing hip hop? No. As a matter of fact, it is improving. And I wouldn't be surprised if the next run of rappers and producers who are inspired by artists like The Clips and Freddie Gibbs, and especially these two albums, you'll be calling them classic albums and classic rappers and GOAT conversationalists moving forward. So this has been another breakdown, man.